So this class is basically the elementary programming class, and we are learning Python in this class. Okay, the screen that we are seeing is a Jupyter Notebook screen. So in the last class, we tried some of the data structure. We tried about the list. We tried about the tuple, right? So we were stuck in one problem yesterday. Anyone has a solution for that problem? What was the problem? We used to define a list, right? L, say for example, L is the name of the variable. L is equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4, some values, right? In fact, let me write them in unsorted order. Say for example 5, 3, 9 comma 4 and so on, right? So this is the list that we have created. We know that a square bracket means we are creating a list, and the list could be of heterogeneous element also. Here we have the example of a homogeneous element. That means all the elements are numeric in nature, right? All the elements are numeric in nature, but they could be homogeneous also. There could be values which are string, there could be values which are floating point numbers, and so on. Fine. Now, now that we have this list, we yesterday we tried to. I just want to print this list, shift plus enter, and I get the value. Now I wanted to sort this list yesterday, right? So we have seen yesterday that this particular code was working. List dot sort. It has worked. If I try to print list, I will get the sorted list now, right? But running this first line of code again, so I am initializing the list to the initial elements which are unsorted, and then if I try to do something like print I get a response as none. ये कल हमें प्रॉब्लम हो रही थी, right? Even though if we try to assign this list to some other variable, say a is equal to l dot sort, and then we try to print a, then also we get the same response none, right? It was just a matter of 2 minutes if we would have peacefully have seen the document, help document, we would have realized what is happening. So let me show you help l dot sort. See what this method l dot sort, I'm talking about the l dot sort method. I'm taking the help about it. So what the help is saying, sort the list in ascending order, okay? And then it says something about the return type. Let me see where. Key is equal to none, method building interface, sort the list, return and return none. Okay? This says that this method returns nothing, and that is why it is returning none, and the none is being printed. So when I say print l dot sort, actually it is working, and because it is getting the response from the l dot sort as none, so it is printing none. The change has already been made in the list, that is L, right? If I try to print L separately, I will see the change. That means I will see the sorted list. Fine. But see, uh, if I try to run this again, I will see the list is sorted, right? But if I try to assign it to a variable, or if I try to put it inside the print method, so the return value is already none. So that is being printed or that is being assigned. So that was the overall mystery. That's all. Okay. So now we know that this particular method is one of those methods which works on the same data structure on which it is called. इसका मतलब तो यही हुआ ना, right? That sort method is working on the same data structure. It's making the changes on the same data structure on which it is being called. L dot sort means initially L is unsorted, and once we say L dot sort, L is now sorted. We have to print L separately now. We cannot expect this L dot sort method to return the sorted list. This is not what it is doing as per the documentation. So we should have seen the documentation first. Okay. So that's the reason we were not able to resolve the problem yesterday. Now, we have similar method like L dot reverse. ठीक है? As the name indicates, it's going to reverse the list. The list as of now is 1 3 4 5 9 already sorted, right? It should be 9 5 4 3 1 now. So again, this is also returning none. So I cannot print it directly here, right? So what I will do is, let me just run it and then L. Fine. Okay. Yeah.
ऐसे अगर हमें सिर्फ देखना है कि इनके लिए मतलब सॉर्ट का कोई डाटा है बहुत बड़े फॉर्म में हमें सिर्फ देखना है मतलब सॉर्ट नहीं करना पर सॉर्टेड वे में देखना है तो उसके लिए कोई फंक्शन नहीं होता
Sorted way में देखना है तो one thing that you can do is you can assign it to some other variable. ठीक है. Say for example now L. Okay. You have to do one thing, that you will have to assign the initial value of L to some other variable so that you have a copy. Okay. You have a copy there, then you can sort, and if you want to replace, then you say if that value was A, then L is equal to A again. So it changes. Put all these things inside a function. So just one function call and you will get your work done. Okay. Now for example, if I have example of a string str is equal to, say, under double quotes, Shah Imran, right? Str is assigned to a string value, that is my name. Okay. Then if I say str dot upper, what will happen? This has been changed to caps. Similarly, you have got all the methods in str, say lower, then you can find some character inside the string, right? Or you can replace some string, you can split a string based on some, say for example comma or colon or some key values. All these methods are there. Once you say str and then dot, you will see all these method over here, right? ये सारे method आपको दिखेंगे. Find, format, index, then you have whether it's a digit or not, is lower, whether it's in lowercase or not. All these methods are there, right? So for example, if I want to find the length of a string, then what should I do? Not dot length. Length is a implicit method, internal method defined. So length str, ठीक है. str dot length नहीं करेंगे आपकी बार. We don't say str dot length. We say length and then in bracket str. Same goes for all the data structure. Say L. L was what? It was a list. You get 5 because there are 5 elements. Same applicable for tuple also. ठीक है? Correct? Okay. So we have seen the sorting using the sort method if the number is, if the elements are numeric, if the elements of the list are numbers. Now let's assume the list of the animals are something in string. Say for example, if I say animals, okay, is equal to, I have got different animals. Say for example lion, comma monkey. Then we have got goat, comma ant, for example. Okay, fine. I have I have written some of the names starting with small letters and some of the names starting with caps letter purposefully. Okay. Now if I want to sort this, what I need to do, I will be calling animals dot sort. And how can we expect this to be sorted? In dictionary order. Dictionary means if there are words which are having the caps letter, they will be sorted first. That means first either monkey or goat should come. So which of these two should come first in alphabetical order? Goat. Goat should come first. So goat will come first. After that, monkey will come. Then we will expect sorting to happen between lion and ant. So A for and, which is the first character is a small letter, in a small letter is A, that will come first, then we will expect the line. So let's run this command sort method, and then animals, you see, as expected, right? Fine, clear है? सॉल्व हो गई. आप थोड़ा लेट हो, वीडियो अपलोड कर दूंगा, देख लेना है. ठीक है, बहुत सिंपल सी प्रॉब्लम थी, बस के हेल्प डॉक्यूमेंट को थोड़ा. ओके चलो, आई विल जस्ट रिपीट फॉर यू. ठीक है, दोज हु हैव कम लेट, आई विल जस्ट रिपीट फॉर देम. द प्रॉब्लम वाज हियर. सी वी हैड द लिस्ट. ठीक है, we were trying to call the sort method and try to pass it inside the print method. This was one use case. The other use case was we were trying to assign it to some other variable. Say a is equal to l dot sort, and we were trying to print that variable. In both the cases, we will getting the result as null. Actually, the sorting was being happened. Sorting was happening. Just what we had to do, we had to print it separately L, and then we get the sorting. And the reason for this, because this print is not working, or the variable which is being assigned is not taking the sorted value, is because if you see the documentation, this method sort method itself says it returns none. It is not returning anything. When nothing is being returned, then print will not print anything. It will just print none. So none is a Python way to tell that I am not returning anything. Otherwise, in other languages, it's an object, you will get a void, right? Okay, it's just a Python way, it returns none. Okay, so we cannot expect even a is equal to l dot sort, so a should be assigned the sorted value. No, a will remain empty because l dot sort is returning none. Okay, so that will not work because as per the documentation itself, these methods sort, reverse, these methods which are working on the list, they are meant to work on the same data structure on which it is being called. Okay,
So what's the difference between printing and returning?
returning means, see, this is a method. If I write a method and I declare something that this method is going to do something, calculate some value, and that value is going to return back to the caller. So this is the caller. Here I am calling the method. So I will expect that value to be returned over here, right? Some methods are going to return it. Some methods are just doing the thing peacefully and they will keep silent. So in Python, if they do something like this, they have a tradition of returning none. Okay, so they will just return a value null that will be printed to indicate that this particular method is not the one from which you are expecting to get or receive a return value. Rather, the thing is done. The purpose is solved, served, right? You have to go back to the initial data structure, print it separately to see what the changes are being made. ठीक है, clear है? Same thing happened with reverse. I reverse the list, I will get the response when I try to print it here. ठीक है? हाँ, पहले दिन है, क्या नाम है? बैठिए बेटा. ये एक काम करना, काशिफ को and your name, sorry, Sarah. So take the phone number of WhatsApp phone number of both these people and add them to WhatsApp group. ठीक है, after the class. ठीक है, so that whenever anything happens, the class happens, you will get to know about where the class is happening and all those things. ठीक है, so there is a WhatsApp group. This group is actually a combination of all the PG students. That means there are MTech students, there are MSc students, there are MCA students. But he is the one which is the old student and he's in MCA. So I am assigning him so that he will get your number, both of your numbers, and he will just add you in the group. Okay? If any, if he requires any help, just help him because you know he will get the problem. Okay? So अभी तक हमने क्या देखा? We have seen about the string also. We have seen the uppercase and the lowercase methods. Then how to calculate the length of a variable. If it is a string, under the length method I have to pass it. If it is a list, then also again under the length method. I won't say L dot length. I will rather call the length method and pass the structure, data structure, or the variable name of the data structure, right? And it will sort it. Okay. So then here we have seen that we have tried the sort method on string, right? So when the sorting happens on a string, the first the ones with the capital character, the first character which are capital for those strings, the sorting will happen first. Then the sorting will again happen for those strings which have the lowercase character as the first character. So we get the sorted order as goat, monkey, ant, and lion as per our understanding. Okay. Okay. If I want to clear a list, what should I do? Animals, uh, animals. Just a second. Dot clear is a method. So animals will be removed. I mean all the elements of the elements animals will be removed. If I try to print it again, it will be empty list. Now I want to initialize it again. What should I do? Go back to line number this. It will be initialized. If I print this line, it is printing something. I want to sort it again. I have to rerun this code because this is a interpreted language. Okay. So then I have this line. I won't execute this particular line because I do not want to clear it. I want to use it for some other purpose. Okay. So I won't run this line. Okay. Let me put this line in comment so that if by mistake if I try to run it, it should not execute. So hash is something which is an indication of a comment. If I put a hash, that means that particular statement will not execute. So this is a single line comment in Python. What about the multiple line comments in Python? Triple quotes, right? You will have to write something like this, and then you can write in multiple lines. Okay. So comments are the statements which do not execute. They are just merely for the purpose of documentation, so that whosoever is reading the code, he should know what this code is all about. Okay. So if I want to provide some information about the thing that I am doing, I will put into the comment. To yeah, you can write. Of course, you can line by line. You can write it. But if you know that it has to be a multiple line comment, why to take the pain? Why to take the pain in that case, right? Okay. Now I am going to define a method. Okay. In the same context that we are working already, with the sorting context, I will define a method. Def is equal to define. So you will use the keyword def for defining a method. Def lower underscore sort. So by the name, what do you think this method should do? First convert the whole list into lowercase and then sort as per the lowercase. This is what my purpose is. Okay. As of now, what it is doing, it is separating the uppercase strings which have the first character as uppercase, right? And it is sorting those first because in a sequence, the uppercase character comes first, then the lowercase. So this is what it is doing as per the dictionary order. Now, if everything is sorted in lowercase, then I don't have to worry about someone has typed with a capital letter or with a small letter by mistake. I don't have to worry about it. Either let me convert it to upper cases, all the strings, or to lower cases, all the strings. Then I sort. Then that will be in a natural dictionary order. Okay? That is my intention is. So let me bring this code again here so that I will initialize in the animal string in unsorted way, right? Then lower dot sort is the definition of the method. It is taking a variable. Just by the variable name, we cannot say what is the type of the variable. But because I am using str as the keyword, so it gives you an indication that probably I am going to pass an string to this particular method, right? Otherwise, we don't have the provision of type. This is not a strip type language. Otherwise, in other language, I should have typed string str or int x, something to represent the type of the parameter of the particular method. But this is not we are doing in the case of Python. It's not a strictly type check language, right? I will just say str name also indicates that I am talking about a string to be passed. Now, if I put a colon, right? As soon as I put the colon, it indicates either it's something like if statement or for statement or something where the next statement should be indented, right, with a tab space, so that that would be treated as a body of function, this function, right? So lower sort method is being defined with that takes one string parameter, and here starts the body with this one tab indentation, right? Fine. Now what I am returning is return whatever string I am getting. I'm not getting the whole list. I'm getting string by string, any element by element. Okay, fine. String dot lower. Someone just asked what is a return. Okay, this is what a return means. So actually, if I try to use this particular function, say let me say we have to call the function, right? We have to call the function by the name of the function. The name of the function is the identifier which identifies the function. So I will have to say lower underscore sort, and then let me pass a string to it, directly a string, say a b c. Two characters are in uppercase, the third c is in small case, right? And you see I am getting a value because it is returning a value. Okay, it is not returning none, it's returning a value because here a return statement is there. This function must return the lower case of the string that is being passed. So I am getting a return value, right? And that is being printed, because we know in Jupyter notebook we do not have to put a print statement, print function explicitly. I have a provision to use it. I can just use print here, and in fact apart from Jupyter notebook or from Google Colab, which is again on based on Jupyter notebook, we have to in fact use the print function. Okay, if you, like unless I have shown you some other ID, right? There you had to use the print function. You won't get the result without the print function. But here we can have the result just by typing the name of the variable, pressing shift and enter. That's it. Okay. So same thing happens here. Whatever is being returned over here without the print function, that is being also printed. So that's the kind of ease that Jupyter provides us. Okay. Right. Okay. Now what I am going to do is I want to use this animals list which contains multiple strings elements, and want to sort this list based on the definition that we have provided for the lower sort method, lower underscore sort method. That means if I provide uh, the list to this function, so it should basically, or rather I should not provide, but rather I should apply the list to this function. So it should basically what it should do is it should pick each of the elements, string elements separately, convert them to the lowercase, then arrange them in the same order, then try to sort them. What is my purpose? Let me repeat the statement. Instead of passing just a single string, what I want to do, I want to work with this animals list that contains more than string elements. And now this more than one string elements, what I want to do is if I want to apply the lower sort function on this list somehow with some syntax, then what it should do, it should convert each of these strings into the lowercase first. That means line is already in lowercase, it doesn't needs a conversion. Monkey should be converted with small m, right? Same goes for the goat with a small g, then and in a small letter. You should sort in that way, right? And once that lowercase is done, then it should sort. Then that would be the right sorting as per the dictionary order when everything is in the same consistency level. That means everything is either lower or in uppercase. ठीक है? So इसके लिए देख लीजिए, just see how to do this. You will say animal, sorry, this is already done, right? Okay. Animal dot sort. We are calling the sort method on the list. ठीक है, and we are trying to apply this lower sort method on individual elements first before sorting. ठीक है, so what I will say, I have the provision of providing a key, sort with a particular key, and the key could be a function that will take the charge. ठीक है, key is equal to what I will do is lower sort. ठीक है, no, no, you have to specify the key. There are multiple parameters. Now this key is something like a identifier which basically identifies what functionality you want. So if you are supplying lower sort, what do you want this lower sort to be used like? So you have to use it like a key to first sort, first change the case from uppercase to lowercase, and then apply the sort function after this is done. ठीक है, now I want to see the values. Animal, now see what happened. Have I anything wrong? Animal, animal सा या कुछ change हो रहा है ना? Okay, 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 just a second, just a second. uh, Let me insert a cell below. ठीक है, एनिमल को मैं एक बार अलग से इनिशियलाइज कर रहा हूँ. ओके, इंसर्ट अ सेल बिलो. एनिमल एक बार प्रिंट करके देख लेते हैं. ठीक है, नाउ है एनिमल डॉट सॉर्ट स्पेलिंग सही है, की इज इक्वल टू लोअर सॉर्ट. लेट्स सी दिस. चेक कर रहा हूँ मैं. Definition, just a second, just a second. Okay, control C, let me put it here. Okay, define lower underscore sort str color detail str dot lower. Okay, this is correct. Animal dot sort key is equal to lower underscore sort. Let's try with animals. Something wrong is happening over here. Sort. Is there anything wrong that I've done? Just check. Am I missing something?
The direct lower sort पे सभी animal डाल
No, no, that is what I want. I don't want to do it by string, element by element. I want to pass the whole of the list, right? And that is why we are using this key as a parameter to the sort function, so that it
तो
should.
डायरेक्ट जहाँ पे लोअर साउंड एबीसी लिखा हुआ है वहाँ पे अगर हम डायरेक्ट एनिमल डाल दें तो सॉर्ट नहीं होगा.
No, no, no. It is taking string. This lower function is defined on string. This lower function is defined not on list. It's defined on string, right? There must be something. Let me just check. Okay. Let me copy. Open a new notebook. Just a second. Something I'm missing. Or str dot lower. Okay. Then animal or animals is equal to, say, monkey with m small comma double quote. and comma double quote say goat comma double quote line. ठीक है. And then I am saying animal. हाँ. Key is equal to no 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 no. See, it's doing, but uh and goat. And what was the initial value? See, the initial value was monkey and goat. No, it's working. Actually, I was a little confused. It has not, you know, changed the values of. It has used key for just for the purpose of lowering it while it is sorting, right? It has not changed the values to the lower case. Arrange कर दिया है. It has arranged according to that. हाँ. Key means it is just using that particular function to have the logic with which you want to sort, but it's not going to change the individual elements because the elements must be arranged in sorted order, but the elements should not change, right? If the elements are themselves changed, that means I am altering with the values of the list. I don't want to alter with the values of the list, rather I just want them in the sorted order. That's clear, hai? So this was the thing. Just it's a see, it's a thing of habit. So I'm trying to remind myself with the Python, way of doing things. So I'm not getting what you're saying is. Yeah. Yes. Okay. See, what is happening? In the earlier case, one line I have initialized, I have run line number 6. That means the list has been initialized to its previous value, right? Let me insert a new cell here, cell above, and now let me try to sort this. Okay? Animals dot sort without using the function. So it will give us the difference, right? Now insert another cell below and or above. Okay, we should insert something in the below. Insert below, and then I am trying to print animals. Line. Okay. No, it might happen that this is in the same order. ठीक है जिसमें आपका sort हो रहा है. What you are saying? Key is equal to string dot lower. Yeah, that may work. Let me try it. That may work because it's itself a function. So let's try. That may work. Okay, that may work. No, it's not working. Okay, let's see. Let's see. And then animals. Yeah, that way also it is doing because lower itself is a function. Okay, lower itself is a function. Okay, that way also it will work. Okay, because there was it was a function there also, and here it's a function here also. Now let's resolve this. We have to change this data such a way that it should contain the value where both the sorting techniques should.
फंक्शन हमने ये स्ट्रिंग डॉट लोअर लगाया तो ऊपर फंक्शन जो हमने बनाया उसका तो कोई फायदा नहीं था
वही तो देखने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, फायदा होना
इसमें
चाहिए ना।
डायरेक्ट फंक्शन लग गया इसमें।
अच्छा, अभी अभी हम एक काम करते हैं, एंड को हम, एंड जी गोट, गोट और मंकी, विच वन शुड कम फर्स्ट? If M and G both are in caps, goat should come first, right? Let me bring this goat here, ठीक है? And let me remove it from here. Goat should come first, right?
सर पॉज तो थोड़ा।
Let me say goat is with a small letter, monkey is with capital letter. So if I directly use the sort method, what should happen? Monkey should come first because it has a capital letter. ठीक है, let's try this.
सर लाइन
है लाइन पे कोड रह गया आपके. Let's try this. First run this code. Initialize, animals are initialized. Now animals dot, or rather animals dot sort is here, right? Let me run it. Now let me print animals. So ant, monkey, goat and lion, right? This is what we are getting. Let me get the same code here before applying the sort method with the key. ठीक है? Now let's sort with the string dot lower, uh, or the lower function that we have defined, lower sort, right? Now let's see. Are they different? See, the answers are different. Ant, goat, lion, and monkey. Here we are getting ant, monkey, goat, and lion. It's just that it was because of the input which was already behaving in such a way that both the techniques are working similarly. Otherwise, if we change the input, we will get the right result. ठीक है? It doesn't, मतलब ऐसा नहीं है, ऐसा आपको अपेयर हो रहा था कि मतलब वो काम नहीं कर रहा है. It is working. Just we have to change our input. ठीक है? Fine. Clear यहाँ तक? Now I have a problem statement. So the problem statement is the way just we have applied lower sort function to use it as a key to sort the elements of the list, but while sorting, the sort function should consider them in lowercase, right? Should consider, why I'm saying consider, because actually it should not change the element. It should only consider while sorting. Now what I want to do is, uh, let me say that I have a list of numbers. Okay? Uh, I have a list of numbers. What I want to do with this list of numbers? I want to sort them such a way that the numbers, while being sorted, should be in accordance with the deviation with the numeric 10. ठीक है? The sorting, मैं इसलिए लिख रहा हूँ क्योंकि अगर बोलने में इधर उधर बात हो जाए तो आप समझ लो उसको. The sorting should be done to the list element in such a way that the numbers which have the least deviation with numeric 10 should appear first in the sorted order. ठीक है? When you work with data science, you will get you will encounter such kind of problems, right? कॉम्प्लेक्स प्रॉब्लम्स, राइट? ठीक है, प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट समझ में आया? ओके, फर्स्ट लेट मी क्रिएट अ लिस्ट. Let me create a list. So let me say I have numbers list, numbers underscore list. To start with a list, what I have to do, I have to put a square bracket after equal to, and within that equal to, I am saying 12, comma 10, comma 11, comma 15, comma 9. This is the list I have. Numbers list. I have printed it, right? Now 12 has a deviation of 2 from 10. Deviation का मतलब कितना deviate कर रहा है, right? Either right side or left side. Both means the same thing. So we have to check about the deviation, whether on the right side or the left side. ठीक है? Positive or negative, both deviations are accounted for. So 12 deviates from 10, number 10 by 2. 10 deviates from 10 by 0. 11 deviates from 10 by 1. 15 deviates by 10 by 5. 9 deviates with 10 by 1. So in that case 9 and 11 both deviates by 1 digit, right? Now I have to do the sorting in such a way that the numbers which have least deviation should come first in the sorted list. So how should I write it? Any idea? Would you like to try something on the paper? Try and show me something. Attendance इनका भी लिख लिया है? नहीं नहीं, जो सारा, राइट?
कंडीशन देने का कुछ
कैसे चाहो करो, एज यू लाइक. Try something, even if it is not correct, it's okay. Even to prepare this lecture, I have to spend some 3 hours. ठीक है? If this would have been in Java, I would have not spent time to prepare the lecture. But because I'm not a Python developer, so definitely I will have to study for the class also. It took me around 3 hours to develop this lecture, to prepare this lecture for 1.5 hours of yours. हो गया? आपका हुआ क्या? इसको बड़ा कर दो क्या?
in the ascending order, 9, 10, 11, 12. Because 9 is less than 10, minus 1. So 9 will come first. Then
9 will
10,
come first.
then 10,
And
then 11.
which is the element with the least deviation from the element 10?
9
No, no, no. 10 is one of the element at the second index, index position 1. 9 and 11 have the deviation of 1. But this element 10 has a deviation of 0. So this should come first, na? I have twisted the problem statement so that there is a purpose of doing something, right? Okay. We have to compare to the 10, the deviation, using the same technique that we have done just now. That is not under your control. Whichever comes first should be preferred first. ठीक है? कुछ अगर अटेम्प्ट किया दिखाना चाहे दिखा दे हैं? आपको ऐसे ही फंक्शन बनाना है जैसा अभी हमने बनाया है मॉड्यूल ऑपरेटर भी एब्सोल्यूट एक फंक्शन होता है उसको यूज कर सकते हैं आप एबीएस बता देता हूँ अच्छा ठीक है चलो ओके so he is wondering how we will find the deviation the problem is just here right how we will find the deviation okay so if I say abs absolute function is there absolute of 10 minus or rather let's say 12 minus 10 so it will be 10 2 itself okay let me say reverse 10 minus 15 so the if I want to subtract 15 from 10 it should be minus 5 because I'm trying to get the absolute number of it so I should get plus 5 so plus 5 is the deviation right clear 5 so you have to use the absolute function within the function that you are defining अब देखो
अच्छा ये जो आएगा ये इंडेक्स नंबर होगा
this deviation will be used as a key basically to sort so the least the deviation that number should come first the number should not change in the list जैसा भी हमने स्ट्रिंग में देखा ना स्ट्रिंग चेंज नहीं हो रही थी राइट हो रहा भाई कुछ? अच्छा चलो मैं कर रहा हूँ, यू जस्ट वेरीफाई वट एवर यू आर डूइंग, ठीक है? Simply the way we have defined the function for the string, we will say def, ठीक है? I will give the name which resembles what we are doing, my deviation from 10. So my underscore dev underscore 10, ठीक है? Clear? So I am going to pass a number basically, not a string this time. So I will say n indication for a number, although we do not know the type until it is being initialized. Then what should I do? I should put the colon, ठीक है? To indicate is the function. Now what I will say, I will just say return absolute of what? 10 minus n. Whatever the number is being passed, one by one, the numbers of the list, they will be subtracted from 10, and then the absolute value of it will be calculated. That means it will be converted from negative to positive if it's negative. Then that will be used as a key to sort the elements. So the function is ready. All I have to do is numbers list and dot sort, and then I will use key is equal to my def 10. So numbers list is, I'm assuming it is sorted. I just need to print it, numbers list 10, 11, 9, because 11 appears first and 11 and 9 both have deviation of 1, same deviation. So whosoever appears first is coming first. 10, 11, 9, 12, and then 15. Fine? Clear? Hmm? इंडेक्स नंबर हैज टू बी चेंज, सॉर्ट करने का मतलब ही है सॉर्ट होगी वो अरेंज होंगे ना, दे विल रीअरेंज, इंडेक्स नंबर हैज टू बी चेंज, द वैल्यू इज नॉट बीइंग चेंज। ऐसा नहीं हो रहा कि 10 कुछ और हो जा रहा है, आई एम नॉट चेंजिंग द वैल्यू ऑफ 10 और 11 और 12। 9 कहाँ चेंज हो रहा है? 9 was at the last place, that means index 0 1 2 3 fourth place, fourth index, it has come to the index 2. The values are not being changed, it's just being rearranged in ascending order, and the ascending order depends upon the deviation from 10। यही हो रहा है ना? ठीक से देख लो एक बार, करेक्ट? फाइन गाइस, ठीक है? Okay, then let's try something with tuples. A few things, some small easy things which are missed. So let's say this tuple t is equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5 comma 6 comma 2, a large value, ठीक है? This tuple is initialized. If I want to print the tuple, I have printed it, right? I want to count how many times 2 is repeated in the tuple. See, tuple is something which doesn't allow you to change its element, right? What? Tuple? Not getting. We cannot change the state of tuple. Yeah, if we want to change it, something else we can do as a workaround, that is, we can change it to some other element, and then we can assign the reference of that object to the initial object t. That is something we can do, but in that case we are click कर लो, click कर लो, ठीक है? So we are what we are trying to do is we are not trying to change the state of the tuple, ठीक है? आप देखो tuple पे अगर कोई method, if I want to just check what are the methods available in tuple, right? So just press tab, you will get just count and index. No, just count index. The length is a function. Length within the function you can pass t. That's a different thing. That's an implicit defined function. That's a different thing. But for the tuple as a data type, if I put a dot operator, the data type itself doesn't define any other method apart from index and count. And these both are the read-only methods. They will give the information. They will not change the state of the tuple itself. They are not going to change the state of the tuple, right? So t dot, say for example count. I want to count how many times 2 appears, right, in the tuple. So just I will type 2. I will get 3 because 3 times it is being repeated. Okay, fine. Now, say for example, the other method that was available with tuple was index. So I want to figure out what does index actually does, right? So what should I do? Help. If I want to find what the index method does. So what should I do? Help. Describe works with data frames. Okay. Help t dot. I want to see the documentation actually. T dot index. See, it's saying it's a built-in function index. Index. These are the details about the parameters. Methods of built-in tuple instance return first index of a value. That means if I pass 2 as I have passed in the count method, then it will return me the index of the first occurrence of the 2 in the tuple. What is? It's 1, right? So that means if I say t dot index and if I pass 2 this time, I will get 1. Right? So these are the only two methods which you can apply on tuple, and these two both are the methods which will return you with the information which will not change the state of the tuple. Fine. Like in the list, we say list dot reverse. It basically change the state of the list itself. The list now itself becomes or turns to a reverse order list. Okay. Now, for example, if I want to add two collections, I want to define a method to. है बेटा सो तेज बोलो. Yeah, we can use plus also for concatenating. I want to show something different. Okay. So, but probably I'm doing it a different way. So let me define a method. Say add underscore to underscore collection. Okay. Underscore I'm adding print. I also want to print the collection which are added. Okay. So these are the two collections. Now let me give the name of the two collection A comma B. I don't know which collection which will land in A and which collection will land in B, because we do not have to define the type in interpreted language like Python, right? Then colon, sorry, colon outside, and I am being my cursor is being placed at with one tab space where I can define the body. So if I say A dot X extend B, I am trying to extend A with the element of B. That means the element of A will be concatenated at the last with the elements of B. Then I want to print also because I put a print in the name. So I will say print. What should I print? A has been changed, so I will print A. Fine. So this is my function. This is ready. Now let me have a tuple defined first. T is equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3, and then a list, say in fact 4 comma 5. Okay. Now let me call this method add to collection, and I am passing t first and l afterwards. What is expected output? Tuple do not have the extend method. The state of tuple cannot be changed. I am passing t first, and that t is received in A. the a dot extend method is being attempted, which will not work. So now what should I do if I want it to work somehow? Uh, so this is just an example, because you will get normally when you go to the exam and you claim that you know this particular technology, they will ask such questions where you will you will have to decide what is being done is right or wrong. Okay, you have to choose among the options, right? So you have to first pass L rather. Don't change the code. Don't change the code. Change the caller. ठीक है, कॉल करने में आप क्या करेंगे? You pass L first, comma, then T. Then L will be received in A, and on the list that extend method will be called. Fine? You're getting the answer? ठीक है? Okay. Now let me say I have got list as L is equal to say 1, 2, 3, 4. ठीक है? And then I want to assign them to individual variables. So there is a format for it: A, comma B, comma C, comma D, 4 variables. This equal to L. A will be assigned to first element, B will be in the same sequence. Okay? So if I want to print A, 1, if I want to print B, 2, and so on. Okay? Same can work with tuple also, because we are not changing the tuple, we are changing the variable values. Tuple elements of the tuple will be assigned to the variable values. Okay, if I want to input a digit or a number or something from the keyboard, like the scan f method used in C++ or system.out.println in Java or C in C++, जैसे आप यूज करते हैं ना, कीबोर्ड से कुछ रीड करना है आपको, you want to read something from the keyboard, right? So you have a method input, and you can pass a message prompting what you want to enter. Say enter a digit. If I run this, I will get a message along with a box. Huh? I'm not getting. User defined है क्या चीज? We will enter a digit, right? So let me say I'm entering 5, right? Output क्या आया है? 5. Is it a digit? It's a string. अगर आप एक तरह से और भी चेक करना चाहें तो इसको असाइन कर दे किसी वेरिएबल में. You can assign it to some variable, and then you can print, you can check the type of the variable. This is also something that you can do, right? It's a string, because by default, if I'm typing something on the console, by default it has to be into one format. So by default it is picking a string, right? Even though I mean integer, so I have to convert it, right? A is equal to, tell me, int, then bracket is what? It's a call to the constructor, right? It's another way of assignment. Then same thing. Let me copy, right? ठीक है? Now if I enter 5, the result is 5. That is type type of A. It's an integer. ठीक है? So अच्छा 11:30 बजने जा रहा है, right? I also wanted to cover dictionary, but it's again a little bit long topic, so it won't be possible today. ठीक है? So we are going to stop here. ठीक है? I will upload the lecture if you want to revise it. ठीक है? I will upload the lecture and send you the link. Yesterday's lecture also and today's lecture also. ठीक है?